Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a poor orphan girl named Lila. She had lost both her parents at a tender age, and with no family left to care for her, she became a burden to the village. For years, she had been mistreated and neglected by the villagers, who saw her as a mere orphan, someone to be used for labor and little more. One cold winter's day, Lila's fate took a turn. Her stepmother, a woman who had no love for her, grew tired of caring for her and decided to send Lila away. She gave the girl to an old man who had recently moved into the village. He was known as a simple, reclusive figure who lived alone in a modest house on the outskirts. His name was Mr. Elias. Lila was frightened, but had no choice but to follow. Her stepmother told her in a cold voice, "You will be a servant in that man's house. And maybe, just maybe, you'll find a place where you're useful." She watched as Lila walked away, heart heavy with bitterness, unaware of the truth about Mr. Elias. Mr. Elias was not the poor old man he appeared to be. He had once been a businessman in a bustling city, building a fortune from humble beginnings. But after a life full of wealth and power, he had grown weary of the world's materialistic ways. So, he retreated to the quiet village, living in anonymity and comfort with his vast wealth, hidden from all but a few trusted servants. When Lila arrived at Mr. Elias's home, she was stunned by its serene beauty. The house, though modest from the outside, was filled with fine paintings, rare antiques, and the scent of delicate flowers that bloomed all year round. The garden was more like a sanctuary, and the food was plentiful. Mr. Elias, though gruff and solitary, showed her kindness in his own way. He didn't ask much of her except to help with some simple tasks, cooking, cleaning, and occasionally tending to the garden. As the days passed, Lila slowly began to feel more at home in the house. Mr. Elias, noticing her hardworking nature, started teaching her how to read and write, a gift she had never received before. He also shared stories of his past, speaking of a life filled with adventure, business, and travel. One day, after several months had passed, Lila was cleaning the attic when she stumbled upon a chest filled with documents and old photographs. Her heart raced as she saw the name Elias Enterprises on a letterhead. The documents revealed the truth about the man who had taken her in. Mr. Elias was not just a simple, retired man. He was a billionaire, the founder of a global empire. Lila was stunned. She couldn't believe that the man who had shown her so much kindness was so wealthy, while her stepmother had sent her away to him in ignorance. She realized that she had been given a second chance, not just to survive, but to thrive. One afternoon, her stepmother came to visit. She walked into the grand estate, her jaw dropping as she took in the opulence of Mr. When she saw Lila working happily in the garden, her face twisted in confusion. Her stepmother demanded. Lila, now a young woman with confidence and grace, looked up with a soft smile. "This is where I live now. Elias has been kind to me." But she said nothing. She realized that there was much more to Lila's new life than she had imagined. From that day forward, Lila's life changed. Mr. Elias, seeing her potential, she learned the ins and outs of the industry and grew into a strong, intelligent woman who not only found success but also became a symbol of kindness and perseverance. Lila became known throughout the world, not just as the orphan who had been abandoned, but as the daughter of a billionaire who had been given a second chance, not just at life, but at happiness. Her stepmother, who had once cast her aside, was left to ponder the consequences of her cruelty, while Lila, with Mr. Elias by her side, embraced a future full of promise and joy. The orphan who had been cast out, mistreated, and forgotten became the woman who changed her world forever.